Hello, welcome to the Essence of Bhagavad Gita. Thank you for joining us for the day 9. Yesterday, Mohanji covered 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita very nicely. He explained wonderfully about the opulence of the Lord. Today, we will be covering 11th chapter. 11th chapter is one of the entitled, the name of this chapter is Universal Form of the Lord. And to take us through this chapter, we have with us Harinam Anand. Many of us know Harinam Anand. He is a wonderful singer. He is a great musician. His singing is so melodious as his lectures. And Harinam Anand is practicing Bhakti Yoga for more than 20 years. And he is helping others also to take up this Bhakti Yoga, and he gives very wonderful training for those people. And are we ready to hear the universal form of the Lord? We welcome Harinamanand Prabhu. Over to you, Harinamanand.
Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Jai Govindji. I'm very, very grateful to you for introducing me, and I'm very grateful to all the people who have joined in tonight to continue the amazing Essence of Bhagavad Gita course that we have been doing since past more than a week now. So today we are going to read and discuss about the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. This chapter is entitled The Universal Form. But before we begin, there are some rules that we all know. I'm not going to share again. So before we begin, I'll chant the pranam mantras, offering my respects to all the gurus, all the teachers, offering my respects to all the present senior devotees, and also offering my respects to all the senior citizens who are so regularly participating in this course. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much for joining. Today we are reading from chapter 11, and just to give us a brief synopsis of the whole chapter. In the previous chapter, chapter 10, Krishna mentions that with a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support the entire universe. So far, Krishna has explained different types of yoga. He has also explained, finally, in the 7th chapter onwards, he explains Bhakti Yoga. And continuing with that theme, in 10th chapter, he makes this statement that everything is emanating from him. Everything is supported by him. In 7th chapter, there was a verse where he mentions that Sutre Mani Gana Iva, that everything rests upon him as if as a thread in the pearl necklace. So even in 10th chapter, when Krishna mentions this, that I pervade and support the entire universe, Arjuna expresses his desire to see that most amazing, all-pervasive form of the Lord. So I really request all of you to be present with full attention on the screen as well, not only just on audio. And if possible, you can come on the camera. It will be easier for me also to connect with all of you. So just as Arjuna has requested to see the universal form of the Lord, Krishna fulfills his desire. Actually speaking, Krishna is driving Arjuna's chariot. He takes this humble role of a chariot driver, Partha Sarathy. But for an ordinary person, it is difficult to understand that how can a simple driver be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But of course, Arjuna, hearing the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita from Krishna, he now humbly requests Krishna to show the universal form. And let's see how this chapter unfolds. So this chapter, the universal form, the acronym is Rupa. Rupa means form. And the first R is request. U stands for universal form. P stands for prayers by Arjuna. And A stands for armed form of the Lord. So if you see verse 1 to 4, Arjuna requests Krishna to show the universal form. From verse 5 to 34, Krishna shows the universal form to Arjuna, and Sanjaya also describes the universal form. And in between, Krishna explains that this universal form is all about. Verse 35 to 46, Arjuna is flabbergasted. He's really surprised to see Krishna's beautiful, amazing universal form. And he prays to Krishna. And then finally, Arjuna requests Krishna to come back to his original form. And verse 47 to 55, Krishna comes back to his original form. And he describes that who is qualified to see this form. So let's see how this chapter goes forward. So verse 1 to 4, Arjuna, although acknowledging that the two-armed form of Krishna is supreme, requests Krishna to show him that all-pervading form which he spoke in the 10th chapter. So the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita begins with Arjuna saying that by my hearing the instructions you have kindly given me about this most confidential spiritual subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled. So Arjuna accepts that his illusion is dispelled, but O lotus-eyed one, in the second verse he says, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity and have realized your inexhaustible glories. So Arjuna addresses Krishna as Kamala patraksha, O lotus-eyed one. Arjuna addresses Krishna as lotus-eyed out of joy after knowing the fact that he is the source of all creation, maintenance, and destruction, which was explained in 7th chapter, and also knowing that Krishna is aloof from the material modes, and his opulence is inconceivable, which is explained in the 9th chapter. In text 3 and 4, Arjuna expresses his desire to see the form which supports and pervades the entire universe. And it's not that Arjuna demands to see. Arjuna pleads to Krishna. So it is said that one's qualification to see the Lord's form can be revealed only by the mercy of the Lord. You cannot demand the Lord that, no, only if you come in front of me and show that you are the Lord, then only I will believe you, otherwise I will not believe that the God exists. So we cannot demand, just like we cannot demand a king of a particular city or a prime minister or a head of state that come and show me that you are the head of state, then only I will believe in you and your laws. Yeah, we have to qualify ourselves. So if we have to qualify ourselves to see an ordinary human being who is a head of a state or a king or a president or a prime minister or even a minister, then what to speak of the Supreme Lord who is the owner, proprietor, maintainer of the whole universe? Not only one universe, millions of universes. The whole existence is the proprietor. So one should qualify oneself. So therefore Arjuna requests Krishna, and one cannot see the Lord's form by mental speculation or perception by material senses. Because as living entities, we are infinitesimal spiritual spark, and we cannot know the unlimited infinite. We are very, very minute. Yeah. In our body, we have the spirit soul. Yeah. So that spirit soul is very, very tiny. In fact, it is said that it is 1/10,000th part of the tip of the hair. So if you take your hair strand, one hair strand, and you cut the tip of that hair strand into 10,000 parts, that one part of that 10,000 is the size of the soul, which is so minute, it is as good as invisible. So Arjuna admits that that his limitations as a living entity, and therefore he requests. And here Krishna is addressed as Yogeshwara, to point out his inconceivable potencies by which the infinite can reveal to the finite. Yeah, so although Krishna is not obliged to reveal himself until one fully surrenders in Krishna consciousness and engages in transcendental loving service. Yeah. Text 5 to 8, there's a beautiful description of what Krishna is about to show. Yeah, Krishna is about to show his universal form, which Arjuna has requested. And as we see in text 5, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, said, "My dear Arjuna, O son of Pritha, see now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of very divine and multicolored forms." So Krishna now tries to show his universal form. Yeah. He says, "O best of Bharata, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumaras, and all other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard of before. O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine." This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything moving and non-moving is here completely in one place. In the next verse, Krishna shares that, but you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore, I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulences. So, Krishna shows his divine form, his universal form, but he also informs Arjuna that you cannot see me with ordinary eyes. I will have to give you the divine vision. Yeah. So, pure devotees of the Lord, actually, they are not interested in the universal form. But because Krishna makes this statement that he pervades and from him everything emanates, Arjuna makes this request, especially for people like us. Because ordinary people, they think that Krishna is just an ordinary human. Yeah. So later on, people will question that whatever he claims, is it true or not? So many times we see that there are so many ordinary people who claim themselves to be God. So that's why as soon as anyone who claims themselves to be God, we should immediately tell that person, show me your universal form. Yeah? And I'm sure they will not be able to show their universal form. Right? So Arjuna, in a humble mood, requests Krishna, and Krishna shows the universal form, and then he says that you cannot see me now, let me give you the vision. So here, text 9 to 31, Sanjaya describes the universal form. In 9 to 13, Sanjaya describes, and then Krishna shows the universal form. Arjuna is literally bewildered and astonished. And then he asks that, who are you? I can't believe this universal form that you have shown me. Are you Krishna? The same person with whom I have been relating to you as a friend? So then Krishna explains that I am time who devours everything. Yeah. So let's see. So 9 to 14 verse, Sanjaya describes what was shown to Arjuna, the universal form. So imagine even Sanjaya had the vision. He was blessed by Vedavyas to see everything, to hear everything, whichever place he puts his focus on. He had this blessing from Vyasdev. So Sanjaya describes what was shown to Arjuna by the Lord. He describes this to Dhritarashtra. So Sanjaya was provided with divine vision with the blessings of Vyasdev so that he could see the happenings in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And in subsequent verses, Sanjaya describes the universal form of the Lord which was displayed to Arjuna upon his request. In text 10 to 11, unlimited divine wondrous and brilliant forms, Sanjaya describes, are shown by the Lord. Unlimited mouths, eyes, ornaments, weapons, garlands, manifestations were distributed throughout the universe by inconceivable potency of the Lord. Arjuna could see the unlimited sitting in one place. So at that time, Arjuna could see the universal form of the Lord, the unlimited expansions of the universe situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands. So basically, Krishna literally showed a not even 3D, it was 360-degree effect of the whole manifestation form of the universal form of the Lord. Yeah. There's further description of what exactly he showed. And then what happens to Arjuna? And this is all described by Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra, that when Arjuna saw this beautiful universal form, his hair was standing on end. Arjuna bows down and begins to pray with folded hands. Arjuna speaks his realizations of the universal form. Text 15 to 16, Arjuna describes the universal form. Let's see what he describes. Arjuna said, "My dear Lord Krishna, I see assembled in your body all the demigods and various other living entities. I see Brahma sitting on a lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva and all the sages and divine serpents. O Lord of the universe, O universal form, I see in your body many, many arms, bellies, mouths, and eyes expanded everywhere, without limit. I see in you no end, no middle, and no beginning." So Arjuna is really amazed looking at the universal form of the Lord. In text 19, he further describes, "You are without origin, middle, or end. Your glory is unlimited. You have numberless arms, and the sun and moon are your eyes. I see you with blazing fire coming forth from your mouth, burning this entire universe by your own radiance." Yeah, so this next few verses are just description about this universal form, which is also known as Kala Rupa. That is the form of the Lord, which is the incarnation of time. Yeah. In text 20, Arjuna further describes, "Although you are one, you spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space between. O great one, seeing this wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed." So Krishna's universal form is just spread out, wide and far, covers the whole sky in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. All the hosts of demigods are surrendering before you and entering into you. Some of them, very much afraid, are offering prayers with folded hands. Hosts of great sages and perfected beings crying, all peace, Shanti, Shanti, are praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns. All the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Vishvedevas, the two Ashvis, the Maruts, the forefathers, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, the Asuras, and the perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder. So as Krishna showed this universal form, Arjuna is describing every aspect of this universal form. Further, he describes, "O mighty armed one, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, and bellies, your many terrible teeth, and as they are disturbed, so am I." So Arjuna, after seeing this universal form and seeing this so many people going in and out, the blazing fire, demigods, and all these different things, he himself experiences fear. He says, "Oh my God, what is this?" Yeah. Arjuna, seeing many radiant colors touching the sky, gaping mouths, great glowing eyes, his mind is perturbed by fear. Arjuna can no longer maintain steadiness or equilibrium of mind. Imagine if someone whom you know, your childhood friend, yeah, or someone with whom you are regularly dealing with, suddenly shows you a crazy, amazing form, yeah, which you can never imagine. So that was the situation of Arjuna, because Arjuna was actually Krishna's very, very not only relative, but also a very good friend. O Lord of the Lords, O refuge of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance. Seeing thus your blazing death-like faces and awful teeth in all directions, I am bewildered. So Arjuna just goes astonished. He's really bewildered at seeing the form of the Lord. And not only he sees all these things, he sees what is going to happen in future also. All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their allied kings and Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and our chief soldiers also are rushing into your fearful mouth. And some I see trapped with heads smashed between your teeth. As the many waves of the rivers flow into the ocean, so do all these great warriors enter blazing into your mouth. Yeah, so Arjuna gives the analogy that just like so many rivers, they flow into the ocean, Ganga Sagar, yeah, near Calcutta. Mother Ganga, she flows into the Bay of Bengal. Yeah. So similarly, all these great warriors, all these personalities, they are just going into your mouth, getting crushed within your teeth, dying. And then he further gives another analogy. It's just like a moth. It goes into the fire. Yeah, it gets attracted by the light and tries to touch the light or tries to enjoy the light with its eyes. But in that process, it just burns and turns into ash. Yeah. So similarly, all these great warriors are being devoured by you. Oh Vishnu, I see you devouring all people from all sides with your flaming mouths, covering all the universe with your effulgence. You are manifest with terrible scorching rays. So this is all description given by Arjuna. Now, after seeing this amazing universal form of the Lord, Arjuna asks two questions. He says, who are you? And what is your mission? Right? He's amazed. Till now he thought that, okay, he's my friend and he's describing that how he's the taste of water, he's the ability of man, amongst mountains I am Himalayas, amongst this, that, everything, so many things is sharing, and he claims that he's the Supreme Lord and he's pervaded everywhere, Vishnu. So when Arjuna requests him, can you please show me your universal form? He's amazed. He's astonished. He's bewildered. So he asks this question, who are you? What is your mission? So why does Arjuna ask this question? Because Arjuna knew Krishna as his friend and supreme personality of Godhead. But he was puzzled by various forms exhibited by Krishna. So he was not sure, that you appear to be an ordinary person, ordinary human, and then I know that you are the Supreme Lord, but how do I understand that? What is the purpose of your existence here? So now Krishna speaks one of the most important verses of this chapter. Krishna gives the answer saying, Kalosmi lokakshaya krit, Kalosmi lokakshaya krit pravriddho, lokan samahartum iha pravrittah ritepi tvam na bhavishyanti sarve ye vasthita prati anikeshu yoddah. The Supreme Personality of God had said, time I am the great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all people, with the exception of you, the Pandavas. All the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. And then, so Krishna basically explains that I am time. Yeah. And my mission is to destroy everything, all the people except Pandavas in this war. Yeah. So this indicates that even if Arjuna did not want to fight, these people are anyways going to die. Yeah. So this is the most amazing thing. In this whole material creation that we are living in, every single thing will eventually be destroyed by the influence of time. Yeah. By the influence of time, we are born. Yeah. By the influence of time, we live our life, we maintain our life. And by the influence of time, we become old and eventually we die. Yeah. There is not a single person who can claim that they can bring back time. No one in this world, no one, absolutely not a single person or a living being can bring back time. Time lost can never be retrieved again. So the most powerful thing in this world is time. And Krishna says, I am that time. And this form that I have shown you, this universal form that I have shown you, is my manifestation of time. Kala Rupa, the form of that time, where everything in due course of time I devour and destroy. Yeah. So let's see what Krishna explains now. He says, therefore, get up, Sabyasachi. Sabyasachi, most of you might know Sabyasachi as a fashion designer, but that name of that fashion designer comes from Bhagavad Gita, Sabyasachi. Yeah, Sabyasachi means one who is expert in fighting, because Arjuna could fight or shoot arrows with both his hands. He was ambidextrous. Yeah, so he could fight with both his left hand and right hand as well. You know, most of us are one-handed. You know, we use our right hand most of the times, or left hand most of the times, righties or lefties. But Arjuna could use both his hands. And he explains that I have already destroyed all your enemies. Just become my instrument and fight and win glory. Yeah, because in due course of time, any which ways these people are going to die. So you just be my instrument. Just act on my behalf and take the glory. Take the credit. Nimitta matram. Become an instrument. Yeah. So one should understand that this is the best way to live in this world. We should just do our duties in the service of the Lord and leave the result unto Him. Yeah. This is the best way to be fearless. This is the best way to stay motivated in life. This is the lesson that we can learn from this chapter. How to always be motivated. Yeah. If we realize that everything in the world is going to happen any which ways, yeah, so just try and do your best and leave the result on the Lord. Yeah, don't get demotivated for doing any project or taking up any service, always be motivated. Even if it fails, just do it, because the ultimate controller is the Lord. Yeah? So an intelligent person who in general is considered to be a devotee will understand this and acts according to the Lord's plan. Yeah. So Arjuna's motivation was to fulfill the Lord's desire. Yeah? So in this verse, Krishna shares, therefore get up, prepare to fight and win glory. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Savyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. And Krishna in the next verse tells Arjuna to fight and be victorious and enjoy the kingdom. Yeah? He says, Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. Therefore, kill them and do not be disturbed. Simply fight and you will vanquish your enemies in battle. Yeah. So many times we don't realize that sometimes in our lives things are already planned based on our karma and based on the blessings or mercy of the Lord. All we have to do is just continue what is destined to us. Be grateful to what we have received in our lives and continue it with full motivation to do the best we can in our life, to serve the Lord, to continue doing our swadharma, yeah, our duties and responsibilities as a husband, as a wife, as a child, as the office manager, or whatever duties and responsibilities we have. Do it with full motivation. Yeah, leave the result on the Lord, and Krishna will make sure that you will definitely be successful in life. Yeah? The problem happens when we try to control everything. Yeah? So we understand, the devotee of the Lord understands that every plan is made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the Lord is very kind and merciful and wants to give the credit to his devotee if one carries out the plan according to his desire. Yeah? Many times we have this problem in our offices. We do some work and others want to take the credit, or the boss takes away the credit, and you keep on working hard. Yeah? But the Supreme Lord is not like that. Yeah? The devotee is always glorifying the Lord, and the Lord is also Bhakta Vatsal. The Lord also wants to Lord also relishes and takes the opportunity to glorify his devotee. Yeah? In fact, the book Srimad Bhagavatam is nothing but Bhakta, Bhagavan, and the loving relationship that they have, which is bhakti. The whole Srimad Bhagavatam is nothing but these three things: Bhakta, Bhagavan, and bhakti. Yeah? So here also, Krishna wants Arjuna to take the credit. Just act on his behalf, because any which ways, everyone here are going to die in due course of time. Yeah. So let's see what Arjuna prays. Yeah. Arjuna said, O master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, the demons are afraid and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done. So Arjuna is in the mood of wonder. He's so wonderstruck by seeing the universal form of the Lord. And he glorifies the Lord. He says, "O great one, greater even than Brahma, you are the original creator." Many of us, we think the Brahma is creator, Vishnu is maintainer, and Shiva is the destroyer. Yeah, that's the knowledge which everyone has, more or less, basic knowledge. But actually, who is the creator of Brahma? That is you, my Lord. You are that cause of all causes. So, Arjuna further narrates, why then should they not offer their respectful obeisances unto you? O limitless one, God of gods, refuge of the universe, you are the invisible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. So everything that exists in this world, you are the source of everything. He further explains that you are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. Everything that exists in the world, the essence of all the Vedic literatures, the summum bonum, you are that personality. The yogis are doing enormous amount of austerities. The Gyanis are studying literatures after literatures, trying to understand who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what is the purpose of life. Yeah, the Karma Yogis, they are working hard day and night, thinking that, okay, whatever I am working, whatever I do, I am going to offer it to the Lord. But who is the person to whom all this has to be offered? Who is the ultimate personality to whom everything has to be surrendered to? And that is you, my Lord, Arjuna describes. In text 39, he says, you are air and you are the supreme controller. You are fire, you are water, you are the moon, you are Brahma, the first living creature. You are the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you thousands of times, and again, and yet again, and again, and again. So Arjuna, with so much humility, he starts glorifying the Supreme Lord after seeing his universal form. And then he says, I offer my obeisances unto you from front, from behind, from all sides. Yeah. When I read this verse, first I realized, oh, this is why when my parents would take me to temple, they would, after taking the darshan of the Lord, you do parikrama of the Lord, and every wall from on the sides, on the back, everywhere you still touch the wall and you do pranams. Yeah. So exactly what Arjuna was also sharing. He's saying obeisances to you from the front, from behind, from all sides. Oh, unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all pervading, and thus you are everything. Everything emanates from the Lord. In fact, the word Vishnu means one who is all pervading. That means he is present everywhere. That is the meaning of the word Vishnu. Yeah, many people might not know this. So, Arjuna further, after glorifying the Supreme Lord, Krishna, he then begs forgiveness. Because till now, Arjuna felt that I was treating you like a friend. I was treating you like an ordinary, relative. Yeah. So he shares, thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you. He used to call Krishna as, hey, Yadava. Oh, Krishna, come here. Oh, my friend. He used to address him so casually. So please forgive me. Not knowing your glories, I have addressed you like this. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times. Yeah. Jesting as we relax, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. Yeah. So, oh, Honorable One, please excuse me for all those offenses. So Arjuna again takes a very humble mood and he expresses his fault of addressing Krishna so casually in various occasions. In text 43 to 44, Arjuna continues, you are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation of the moving and the non-moving. You are its worshipable chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is greater than you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds, O Lord of immeasurable power? So, because Arjuna sees this amazing universal form, he is now completely convinced that there cannot be anyone, absolutely no. Please remember, Arjuna was not an ordinary person himself. He had the power to visit the heavenly planets where he met Indra, yeah, and Urvashi. And eventually Urvashi curses him. Yeah, so he also even fought with Lord Shiva. Yeah, that's where he got this bow he was gifted. So there were so many amazing glorification that Arjuna gives to the Supreme Lord after seeing his universal form. In text 44, Arjuna mentions, you are the Supreme Lord to be worshipped by every living being, that is you, me, and everyone else. Arjuna says that all of us should be worshipping you, my Lord. Thus, I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy as Father tolerates the impudence of his son. There's a beautiful verse where Arjuna gives analogies of how one should learn to tolerate. Another life lesson. Yeah. The art of tolerance. Many times we are so impatient, we get so disturbed by various people's, instigation. Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder of ISKCON, he shares this beautiful quote, and I request all of you to please note down. Please note down this quote. This quote has helped me personally as well many, many times. Please note down this quote. The greatness of a person is estimated on how one tolerates provoking situations. The greatness of a person is not measured by how many cars he has, how much richness he has, how much wealth he has, how much he can be famous on social media. No. The greatness of a person is estimated by how one tolerates provoking situations. Because every moment in our life we get provoked, left, right, and center. Every time we are provoked. You drive your car on Sheikh Zayed Road, you get provoked by someone who is tailgating you. Yeah? In your office, you are provoked by your colleagues. So, by reading this verse, one can understand that how one should tolerate. Yeah. So, this is another life lesson, and Arjuna gives a beautiful analogy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a husband the familiarity of his wife. So many times, we tolerate our friends, we tolerate our subordinates, we tolerate are equals, wife or a husband, they tolerate each other. Yeah. Please tolerate the wrongs I may have done to you. Yeah? This is a beautiful prayer that we should always pray to the Lord also every day. That please tolerate all my faults and please forgive me for all the offenses. Please guide me in the path of devotion. Yeah, my Lord, please accept me. Yeah. The next verse, few verses, after offering his prayers, Arjuna requests Krishna that please, please come back and reveal to me your four-handed form. Yeah. So after seeing the universal form, which I have never seen before, I am so gladdened. But at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as a personality of Godhead. O Lord of the Lords, O abode of the universe. O universal form, O thousand-armed Lord, I wish to see you in your four-armed form, with helmeted head and with club, wheel, conch, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. So Arjuna requests Krishna that please, O universal form, O Krishna, please come back and show me your four-handed form. So not only Krishna showed the universal form from where everything emanates and from where everything gets devoured, then Arjuna requests Krishna, please show me your four-handed form, and Krishna shows his original four-handed form, which he also showed it to when he was born to Devaki. And at that time also Devaki and Vasudeva prayed, please, O Lord, please show us your normal human-like form. And that's when baby Krishna, beautiful, small, baby-like features of Krishna, baby Gopal, he appeared in front of Devaki and Vasudeva. So similarly, here also Arjuna requests Krishna to show his real original form, four-handed form. Yeah. So Krishna is the source of everything. So it's very easy for him to show all these forms. Yeah. People nowadays, they claim themselves to be gods. They can't even show their simple, forget about four-handed. They can't even control their own bowels. What to speak of controlling the universe and showing different forms. Yeah. So now, the last section where Krishna shows the universal form, and also he explains that who is qualified to see. Yeah. So only pure devotees can see Krishna's two-armed supreme form. Yeah. So not only universal form is difficult to see, four-armed form as well, and finally two-armed form is also very, very difficult to see in general. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, happily have I shown you by my internal potency this supreme universal form within the material world. No one before you has ever seen this primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence. Yeah. So Krishna says that I have shown you the universal form, and no one till now has ever got the opportunity to see this. Yeah. And Krishna further describes that don't think that this form can be seen easily by anyone. Even if you do yagyas, as mentioned in the Vedas, even if you study adhyatmik, adhyayan, yeah, if you study enormous amount of Vedic literatures, even if you are the most charitable person in this world, yeah, and even if you are the most pious man, and even if you are an impersonalist who have reached the level of, Brahma Jyoti, still you will not be able to see my universal form. Krishna explains that only my devotee can see me in whatever form he wants to see. Yeah. Prahlad Maharaj requested, we all know the story of Bhakta Prahlad. Prahlad Maharaj requested when Hiranyakashipu asked that, is your Lord in this pillar? And little Prahlad, with his humble mood, he said, my Lord is present everywhere. So then Hiranyakashipu again asked, is he in this pillar? And again Prahlad Maharaj said, he is everywhere. So that means he might be there in this pillar as well. So immediately Hiranyakashipu took his club and gave a big blow to the pillar. He broke the pillar and out came the most beautiful Narsimhadev avatar. So technically speaking, the Lord was not inside hiding in the pillar, but he came especially from that pillar because he wanted to prove Bhakta Prahlad right. Yeah. And it is said that even Hiranyakashipu was specifically asking whether he is there in this pillar or not. Because when he was constructing this palace, he specifically had done a survey and he was present when this pillar was getting constructed. So that's why even Hiranyakashipu specifically asked Prahlad Maharaj whether the Lord is present in this pillar or not. Yeah. So devotees do not want to see the universal form, although they are qualified to see. All they want to see is the Lord in his Saumya Bhav, his beautiful two-handed form, which we will see in the next few verses. Yeah, Saumya Vapu. So Krishna shares that you have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. Yeah. So Arjuna requests Krishna to show his Saumya Vapu, the beautiful form. And this is the form whom we all worship as Krishna. This beautiful form indicates Krishna's most beautiful, amazing appearance. In Brahma Samhita, there's a beautiful poem written by Lord Brahma himself. He shares Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Shesha Bhutam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yeah. So only one whose eyes, Premanjana, yeah, Churita Bhakti Vilochena, which are smeared by Bhakti, ointment of love, can see the beautiful form of the Lord. Yeah, so we all have to be qualified, and the solution is given how to be qualified. Yeah, by rendering humble devotional service to the Lord and his devotees. Krishna shows this form because he knows Arjuna's ultimate interest is not even the four-handed form. So ultimately, Krishna showed the four-handed form and then he showed his beautiful form as Krishna. Yeah, two-handed form of Krishna. In the next few verses, after Arjuna sees the beautiful form, Arjuna's mind is pacified and restored on seeing Krishna in his normal two-handed form. When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, he said, "Oh Janardhan, seeing this human-like form so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind and I am restored to my original nature." So many people, they have this misconception, oh, that Krishna was just an hero. He was just a mystic person. He was not God. Yeah? People do not even know who the Supreme Lord is. They have not even read the Bhagavad Gita properly and they make such foolish comments. Yeah, the Supreme Lord, just because he appears as an ordinary human being, people think that he is not supreme. And the same mistake was done by Indra, by Brahma, and many other demigods also. Yeah? But one should not get fooled by Pratyaksha Praman or by Anuman Praman. Pratyaksha means I will believe only if I see with my eyes that Lord is supreme. This is how he used to be. Or I will believe only after speculating that this is how the Lord should be and that's how it will be. But one should see the Lord through Shabda Praman. Shabda Praman means the proof from the scriptures, from the Vedic literatures, from the guidance of the previous acharyas, because they are not ordinary. They have seen. Yeah, they have the Divya Drishti. Yeah, just like Krishna blessed Arjuna with Divya Drishti to see his universal form, similarly, the great devotees of the Lord are being blessed to see the Lord in person. Yeah. It is said that one should not see the holy place with their eyes. One should see the holy place with their ears. Because if you go and see the holy places with your mundane eyes, then what you will see, you will end up seeing all garbage, all cheating happening here and there, and so many other things. But if you see the holy place with your ears, you will see the beauty of the holy dham, the holy place. Similarly, when you see the Supreme Lord after hearing from pure devotees about the Lord's pastimes, about the Lord's amazing Leela that he performs, then the Lord himself appears in front of you. When we chant the holy names of the Lord, when we remember the beautiful pastimes of the Lord, these three things are very, very important, very, very important. In the 9 processes of devotional service, the most important is these three: Shravanam, Kirtanam, and Smaranam. This should never be stopped in our life. Every single day, one should do these three things. Every single day. Shravanam, Kirtanam, and Smaranam. One should hear Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Every day morning, there is beautiful class happening in Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Online class, 7 a.m. onwards. Yeah. Then Kirtanam, always chanting the holy names of the Lord. Yeah, one should always chant the glories of the Lord. And even when we are traveling, even when we are working, we can always have subconsciously think of how we can serve the Lord, always thinking about the beautiful pastimes of the Lord. So the same mood was there in Arjuna. And that's why Krishna shows his beautiful human-like form. Krishna now, in the next two verses, glorifies bhakti. He gives the essence now. After showing his universal form, his four-ended form, and then his human-like form, Krishna now glorifies bhakti. He says, the form you are seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, or nor by worship. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way you can enter into the mysteries of my understanding. So many people, they are not able to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Kitna bhi jao, how much ever you tell them, you give them this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, they attend the course completely, but still it doesn't enter their brain. Why? Because they have not developed the simple desire to do some devotional service. In fact, it is said that there is no person in this whole creation who have not done devotional service and become a devotee. Everyone has become a devotee because in some time in their past, maybe in this life or previous life, they might have rendered devotional service. Some form of devotional service, that's why they have become devotee, bhakta. And no one in this world, if there is anyone who has left Krishna consciousness, if anyone who has left devotional service, if anyone who has left Krishna bhakti or has become a bhakta, it is only and only because he has offended a devotee. These are the only two reasons. One, a person becomes a devotee because sometime in the past he might have genuinely rendered loving devotional service unto the Lord or his devotee. And if someone has left or become a bhakta or has fallen down from his bhakti, it is only and only because he has done some Vaishnava aparadh, some offense towards the devotees of the Lord. So Krishna glorifies the process of bhakti here. So one should take up this process of bhakti. One should understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, where he shows this beautiful form. In fact, even in Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, 1st chapter, when Parikshit Maharaj asks that what should be the duty of a person who is going to leave his body, who is going to die in 7 days, and Shukdev Goswami narrates that one should remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he narrates. Parikshit Maharaj again asks that how should I remember, how should I focus my mind, and whom should I remember, what should I think of? And Shukdev Goswami describes the universal form of the Lord, which Krishna is explaining in the 11th chapter. Exactly the same. The four Vedas, Rig Ved, Sama Ved, Yajur Ved, Atharva Ved, all of these four Vedas, there is one common prayer amongst all these four Vedas. And that prayer is Purusha Shukta prayer. Sahasra Sirsha Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishvato Vritva Atyatishtat Dashangulam. So this prayer, which most of you might have heard, especially when you go to Tirupati and everywhere. So This prayer is the only prayer which is common in all the four Vedas. That's why this prayer is very, very important. Many people, they chant this prayer every day, because it is said that if you chant this prayer every day, it is as good as chanting the Vedas. Yeah? So even this prayer, if you read the meaning, it describes the universal form of the Lord, the whole creation, that how everything is emanating from Him. Yeah? So it is very, very evident from this beautiful chapter that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He shows His universal form, He shows His four-handed form, and then He appears before Krishna again as a normal human-like form, which is the most difficult form of the Lord to see in person. Yeah? And the whole essence of Bhagavad Gita is there in the last verse of this chapter, 55 verse. My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contamination of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of life, and who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me. What beautiful point Krishna has mentioned. First, one who is engaged in my work. Yeah. What does it mean? It doesn't mean that I leave my job and go to temple and do service. No. It means that doing whatever work you are doing, just continue doing that. Keep him in consciousness. Mat Paramaha makes me the supreme goal. Whatever work, whatever results I get, I offer it to you, my Lord Krishna. Yeah. Engaged in my devotional service. Whenever I get time, I will take out time at least every weekend. Let me attend some satsang program. Let me go and render some menial devotional service. Yeah. Sangha varjitaha, free from contamination. Let me avoid any unwanted association. Yeah. Let me not get involved into some mental speculation. Let me take shelter of three things: Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Yeah. Let me take shelter of the scriptures. Read what is there. I don't want to follow blindly. Yeah. I personally joined Krishna consciousness when I was in 12th standard, just 17 years old. Yeah. And I had many questions. I didn't just join blindly because I was a college student. I was really very, very keen on knowing what is the purpose of life. Why should we do this? Why there is suffering in this world? And these questions were pertinently coming in my heart. And seeking answers for this, I found so many other paths also. And finally, I got all my answers in the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. So, and finally, Krishna says, Nirvairaha Sarva Bhuteshu. Beautiful. Friendly to all living beings. It doesn't matter if someone is following some other path. A devotee is always friendly to everyone. In fact, Krishna, in the 7th chapter, he mentions this, that if someone has faith towards another God, I, residing in their heart as super soul, I make their faith steady. So if Krishna himself, residing in that person's heart, is making their faith steady because they have the faith in that particular God or process or path, who are we to disturb them? Yeah. Our job is to just give the knowledge if someone asks, or in general, be friendly to every living being. When we say every living being, it also means animals. Yeah. So don't go ahead and eat them. Yeah. One should also be non-violent. Yeah. Don't get involved. Avoid eating food that is derived from violence. So this is the essence of Bhagavad Gita, which is shared in the last verse. mat karma krin mat paramo mat bhakta sangavarjitah nirvairah sarvabhuteshu yasa mam eti pandava. My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contamination of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me. This is the end of the 11th chapter. There are two life lessons that we can learn. The first one is how to stay motivated. I shared about this. This was verse 33, where Krishna tells Arjuna to act nimitta matra. Yeah, so one should act in Krishna consciousness, and the Lord will take care of the rest. Yeah, so work with full motivation. Whatever task you have in your hand, don't lose hope. Get demotivated. Stay motivated because Krishna is there to take care of everything. Yeah. Whether it works or not, and believe me, even if it doesn't work, you have learned something from that experience. Yeah, you will realize that only after some time, if it has not worked out. Yeah, so stay motivated. Yeah, and the other lesson is how to practice tolerance. Yeah? So we discussed about this, that how we have various relationships. Yeah, and the key ingredient to have a long lasting relationship, we have relationship with our parents, our wife, our children, our neighbors, our relatives, our office colleagues, our building watchmen, whoever. Yeah, so one should learn how to tolerate. If you really want to have long lasting happy relationships. Yeah, because not everyone is going to act and behave the way we want. Yeah, and why so? Why should they act and behave the way we want? Yeah, everyone has their freedom and independence. They will act and behave by the modes, influenced by the modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. Sometimes we are influenced by passion and ignorance, and we may act, uh, you know, unfriendly way, and we may be disturbing them. So one should learn to tolerate, and the art of tolerating comes only when we learn the art of forgiveness, when we practice the art of forgiveness. Yeah. So once I heard this long back from my teachers, that when Krishna can tolerate and forgive us for all the things that we have done in our lives, we all know our own. Uh, I'm sorry to use this word, but we all know our own shit. Yeah. So when Krishna can tolerate and forgive us for whatever crazy things that we have done in our lives, then who are we to not forgive others? Yeah. So patch up with whoever you've had um, broken relationship or relationships where we have paused it. Yeah. Or at least forgive them in your heart. Let them go out of your life if you can't really meet them and forgive them or patch up with them. Forgive them in your heart and release them. Because if you don't forgive them in your heart, you're going to further give more trouble to yourself, your mind and senses. Release them and pray to the Lord to bless them. Yeah. So these are the two beautiful life lessons that we learn from this 11th chapter, especially from Arjuna. So thank you very much for joining in today. And really appreciate your patience in today's class. I will stop sharing the slides here and we'll take some questions. Along with me today, we have
Hari Gopal Prabhu.
Hari Gopal Prabhu, who is going to join to answer the questions.
Hare Krishna. Harinam Prabhu, that was a wonderful session, 11th chapter, quite a topic and quite a way of explaining it. So thank you for that wonderful session. So we have really a good number of questions that have come in here, almost 20 questions plus. So we need to really catch up. So Harinam Prabhu, a few questions that I'm going to bring up for you, and then we can take some questions together, if you're okay. First question, Hare Krishna Prabhu, any reason why Sanjaya was chosen? He was blessed to be able to see the universal form. Any special deed for which he was blessed?
Actually, Sanjaya was the son of Gavalgana, and he was part of the Kuru dynasty. And Sanjaya was a very close associate of Dhritarashtra. So when Vyasdev visited Dhritarashtra during the beginning of the war, Dhritarashtra said that, look, I cannot go and see what's going to happen, what is happening in the war. So at that time, Vyasdev calls Sanjaya, who also happens to be Vedavya's student. So he tells Dhritarashtra that I bless Sanjaya to have Divya Chakshu, divine vision. Yeah. So because he blesses him to see whatever he thinks of. So actually, Sanjaya becomes the wartime reporter in one sense. So he got the chance to update Dhritarashtra on what is happening in the whole Kurukshetra war. So there was no specific deed that Sanjaya did, but it was just a blessing from Vyasdev, which he gave to Sanjaya, that you become the medium through which you can update Dhritarashtra. Yeah.
So another one, Harinam Prabhu, on the same lines by, I think, Neeta Singh Ji. I think that question is also answered. So going on to the third one, is it possible that the larger message being given was that this universe creation itself is the supreme power? It includes everything, has no beginning or end, everything lives and dies within it. All energies remain in the universe for eternity and only change form. Trying to unravel its mystery is futile. So just bow to the universe. That's the question by Nalinji.
Yes, so many times we come to this conclusion because we think that, okay, ultimately everything is just a cycle. Yeah, birth, old age, disease, that, birth, old age, disease, that's the purpose of life. No, but the Vedic literatures, they explain that this cycle can be broken. Why do you want to come again and again, suffer in this world? That no doubt everyone lives and dies within this universe, but there is a way to come out of this bhautik samsara, yeah, from this material creation. And that is the path which Krishna is explaining in the whole Bhagavad Gita. The purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to become perfect yogi. As we all know, yoga means to relink, rejoin in the spiritual world, go back to Godhead. Yeah? So Krishna explains that either you do karma yoga or you do jnana yoga or ashtanga yoga, and ultimately bhakti yoga. And of all of them, bhakti yoga is the easiest and the best, which Krishna explains. So that's why, yes, one may assume that, okay, this universe is everything, so all the mysteries and everything. But it is just like trying to understand that, okay, the purpose of life is to just khao piyo maja karo.
Thank you, Harinam Prabhu. Another question here. If Krishna's plan was to destroy the Kauravas and their mindset in the battle of Kurukshetra, why he came to Dhritarashtra's court as a peacekeeper and messenger for the Pandavas?
So basically, we have to understand the whole history of the Mahabharata to understand why Krishna did what he did. So, first of all, Krishna actually explains in the Bhagavad Gita itself, यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सुजाम्यहम् परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे. Very famous verse. We all must have heard this verse. So Krishna's plan was not to just destroy Kauravas and their mindset. Krishna's purpose of coming in the fag end of Dwapar Yuga and the beginning of Kali Yuga was to paritranaya sadhunam, to deliver the saintly people, vinashaya cha dushkritam, to annihilate the miscreants and re-establish spiritual principles, dharma samsthapanartha. So yes, he acted in his own way to be took a role of peacekeeper and everything. And many people have commented, many so-called devotees, many non-devotees, they comment such, oh, he was just trying to, play double role here and there and, create fights. And so many people comment so many things. But whatever Krishna was doing was as per dharma. And in fact, whatever he did was dharma. Yeah. So if you see the whole history of Mahabharata, read the whole Mahabharata, then you'll know what all Kauravas did to annihilate and disturb Pandavas. So whatever Krishna did was to take care of the Pandavas.
Thank you, Prabhu. One other question here by Padmapriya and Prakash ji. In Padma Purana, which verse shows that one considers Krishna equal to demigods, one immediately becomes an atheist? So I was able to quickly find the reference as the question was put in. So it is in the Bruhad Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra of the Uttarakhanda of Padma Purana. It's, I believe, 72.335. It says, Yashtu Narayanam Devam Brahma Rudradi Daivataihi Samatvenaiva Viksheta Sa Pashandi Bhavet Dhruva. Pashandi means an atheist or an imposter. So a person who considers demigods like Brahma and Shiva to be on an equal level with the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana is to be considered an offender or Pashandi. That's the representation that is given in the Padma Purana, where there is the discussion between Parvati and Lord Shiva. Yeah. So that was one question. There was another interesting one. What is the form of Krishna in Goloka Vrindavana? Harinam Prabhu, you want to take?
Yeah, so the beautiful form of the Lord in Golok Vrindavan is the two-handed form that we worship in most of our temples, Radha Krishna, Gopal. Yeah, as a cowherd boy, simple as cowherd boy. That is the form of the Lord in Golok Vrindavan.
Yeah, very beautifully. Just to add to that, Harinam Prabhu's thing, Brahmaji very beautifully explains. He's saying, Venum Kwanantam Aravinda Dalayataksham Barhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Visesha Shovam Govindam Adi Purusham. He says, and then the Lord is Tribanga Lalita, beautifully when Krishna is standing, he has three bangas, means he has three bends in his body, beautifully standing there. He has a Venu, which is the flute, name of the flute. Krishna holds different flutes. One is called the Venu. So when he holds the Venu flute, is called Venudhari. Sometimes he holds the Murali flute, which is called, is called as Muralidhar. And when he is holding another flute, which is called Vamsi, he is called Vamsidhara. Like that, Krishna is always holding the flute and, with his, two hands and with his peacock feather, which is what is very, very unique for Krishna's form there. And Can it be said that the people who saw the original form of Krishna, the two-handed form, including his friends, relatives, neighbors, etc., are blessed and chosen by Krishna himself? Harinam Prabhu.
Yes, so nothing happens by chance. All the personalities who were present in the Kurukshetra war were eventually all delivered, because they were not ordinary personalities. They were great, great personalities in their previous birth who had done immense amount of austerities and pleased the Lord. And that's why in that time period, they all assembled and they could see the Lord in person.
Thank you.
So they were all rishis.
There was a point by Sahitosh Halder Prabhu. In my knowledge, Krishna wanted, this is a statement, not a question, in response to another point there. So he says very nicely, in my knowledge, Krishna wanted to show to the world that war was fought as a last resort after all other options failed. That's the mindset we should possess while in the society. So which means the question was, when he was sent as a messenger and when he tried to convince Dhritarashtra and so on, the mood was that he wanted to try all options. He wanted to give them an option, like we even see in Ramayana, where Lord Rama sends in Angada first as a messenger, and then he sends in Hanuman as a messenger. He wants to give every option to see if Ravana would budge and accept. But unfortunately, when he did not do so, in fact, even when Vibhishana, or when he came and surrendered to Lord Rama, he was mentioning, saying that even at this point, if Ravana is ready to surrender, I am willing to pardon him. But it did not happen, so the war had to happen. So I think that's a very wonderful point, Sahitosh ji, as an answer to that. And how can we do devotional service? Fantastic question. Harinam Prabhu.
So, Srila Rupa Goswami explains that devotional service can be easily done just by taking a humble mood of taking shelter of another devotee, because that devotee is engaged in Navavida Bhakti, that is 9 processes of devotional service, which begins with simple hearing. Just hear regularly about the glories of the Lord. If you hear regularly, then immediately you will develop the desire to chant regularly. And if you hear and chant regularly, you will always think of the Lord, Smaranam. Yeah? And eventually, when you do Smaranam, then natural tendency would be Pada Sevanam. Yeah? That would be to serve the Lord and his devotees. Then when you serve the Lord and his devotees, you will have natural tendency to Archanam. Yeah? That is deity worship. So like this, there are another 4 where how you can do Archanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam finally. So that's how you can do devotional service.
Thank you, Prabhu. Wonderful. There are 2 questions, one from Rajiv Ji, another one from Aswahi Joshi. Bhakti Yoga can only be achieved after attaining Karam Yoga. Is that so? The next question is Bhakti Yoga and Buddhi Yoga same? I'm combining these 2 questions and trying to give some perspective here. Bhakti Yoga can it be only achieved after attaining Karam Yoga? Not necessarily. Bhakti Yoga is completely independent, right? It is not necessary that one has to progress through Karma Yoga or Nishkama Karma or Ashtanga Yoga or any of these processes before they come to Bhakti Yoga. They can even straight away begin at Bhakti Yoga, which is as simple as hearing about as how all of us are doing. None of us here might be Ashtanga Yogis, or maybe some of us are. But then you have already begun the Bhakti Yoga process. Why? Because you have all agreed to hear Bhagavad Gita. So simply by hearing, why hearing is Bhakti Yoga? Because that is what Prahlad Maharaj defines, saying that Bhakti Yoga is the simple 9-step process where we have Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoho, Smaranam. So it begins by Shravanam. Simply by hearing, one begins Bhakti Yoga. So the answer is Karam Yoga is not really necessary that one has to do Karma Yoga before they come to Bhakti Yoga. Is Bhakti Yoga and Buddhi Yoga the same? Well, Krishna uses the word Buddhi Yoga in a couple of different connotations. If you see in the 4th chapter, Karam Yoga, he uses the word Buddhi Yoga for it. And then later, at a later point in time, he uses Bhakti Yoga purely for Bhakti itself. So in essence, the answer is that Karma Yoga can also lead to Bhakti. So there is a Bhakti component to it. So it is called as Buddhi Yoga. But then Bhakti Yoga is the purest form of Bhakti. So it is also in the sense Buddhi Yoga. So for which we need to understand the word Buddhi. Buddha means intelligence. Buddhihi means to be, to be situated in intelligence, right? Stitam satve prasida, stitam satve, which means to be very firmly fixed in intelligence. So to firmly fix one's intelligence, even if it is karma yoga or bhakti yoga, as long as the goal is Krishna, then that is called as buddhi yoga, and that's the way that Krishna uses it in a variable form in different places. I think it's 9:06 now. So in the interest of time, maybe we will have to stop here with the questions. And then Harinam Prabhu, is that okay? And then we'll switch it over to the administrators for any other instructions that they might need to give with respect to the quizzes and a few other administrative items. Is that okay, Prabhu?
Yes. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Harinam Ananda Prabhu, once again for the very wonderful topic, the 11th chapter, and a very wonderfully delivered session in a very simple and serene way. I'm going to switch this over to Jai Govind Prabhu, and I'm sure Jagjeev Prabhu is also on the call. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Harinam Anand Prabhu, and thank you, Hari Gopalji, for the wonderful class as well as question and answers session. Now we request Jaganji to come over and take through us the quiz.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. So I will show you how simple is it to do the quiz. In the website you are given the links to click. So when you click those links, I think you're able to see the screen, right? Yeah. So when you click the link, you'll be given this thing, and then you can just type your name, and then it's a very self-paced quiz. Okay, 1 second. Yeah. So I'll just go through 1 or 2 questions, and then we will see. So the question will come like this: in the course of Essence of Bhagavad Gita, with which acronym chapter 6 is described? So can somebody tell me this? So the answer is this, for example, if I type this, and then it will show you whether you've done correctly or not. So here I have done it correctly. So you can go to the next, and then it shows what are the other participants' scores. And then we can take one more question. What is the topmost rung of the yoga ladder? So I have not heard the class. So I click this. Then it says I'm wrong. So no one said it would be easy. So this is how it shows. So we'll take one more question. And true or false, beginning stage of yoga process is work and cultivating detachment. I would say yes. Then it goes like this. So it is as simple as that. It's very intuitive. You have to just click the link, and then you can do the quiz. And each quiz is designed in such a way that if you do the quiz, at least 95% of essence of what has been told in that chapter is what you will get it. So you can redo the quiz. You can also it will also gives you what are the questions that were difficult to you. That means that you could not answer it correctly, and then you can redo it. And it hardly takes about 5 to 6 minutes maximum. So within 5-6 minutes, you can measure yourself on the summary understanding, and then you can do it what you want to revise or whatever it is. And then if you have any doubt about the question, you can put it in the next day's chat. We are anyway are compiling a lot of in a lot of detail all the questions and answers. We are slightly lagging behind the teachers, but we will definitely catch up. So first 2-3 chapters, first chapter, second chapter, third chapter will be posted. Fourth chapter will be on its way to be compiled tomorrow. So kindly go through. We are spending a lot of time and effort to give a very detailed answers. The teachers here, when they are taking the questions, are giving a brief answer. but the answers that we are giving are quite exhaustive, I would say. So we are spending every day about 6 to 7 hours for each chapter. So we're trying our best with whatever knowledge we have, whatever understanding we have, and we are also doing and cross-checking our answers with authorities. So it's going to be a very useful resource tool for you, not only during the course, even after that. You are also free to distribute that resource to any one of your friends to inspire them to take up such courses so that you will get a good understanding of the essence of Bhagavad Gita. We are not posting the names of the people in the document who have put the question just to maintain the confidentiality. So, but each and every question is going to be answered for sure to the best of our ability. Thanks a lot, Hare Krishna. And again, once again, thanks a lot for your participation. Kindly do the quizzes, kindly go through the question answers. It will be very, very useful to you.
Thank you, Jaganji. So far, we have compiled 4 quizzes, which I have posted in the chat box. Please attend all. Probably we will release 5th one tomorrow. And also, yesterday, Chiran has clearly mentioned, we have posted the answers for 1, 2, 3 chapters. Please go through our webpage, bit.do/essence of Gita, and refer to the answers which have been posted, and also give your feedback. And today, wonderfully, Harinamanand has told, Bhaktyatu Ananyaya Shakta. Only through the devotional service we can understand Krishna. So tomorrow we are having an interesting chapter coming up, which is known as Bhakti Yoga. So please stay with us. Stay safe. Again, we will meet tomorrow at 7:30. Till then, good night. Hare Krishna.
1 second, Prabhu. Mohan had asked me to click the link again. If you want to redo the quiz, when you click the link, it will store like this. If you give the same name, so then you can say that's me, and then you can do the quiz. Or otherwise, it will start from where you have left. Otherwise, you can give a different name. That's all I want.
Thank you, Jaganji. Okay. So, thank you. Good night. Hare Krishna.